massive. And if it's not, it's up to us to make this story massive. I'll put the link below. I saw it in grip.ie, and Sanity for Sweden briefly mentioned it the other day. But this story should be huge. It should be huge, and everyone should know about it. And it should be, the mainstream, of course, in our countries won't cover it, but it should be mega. And so tell everyone you know about this story. The Spanish daily paper El Mundo, which is the biggest selling paper in Spain, has shown that a huge number of influential and wealthy, powerful people in Spain paid for fraudulent vaccine certs, including one of them who is the CEO of one of their largest pharmaceutical company who makes drugs to treat the Rona. Now, I can guarantee you for a fact this is not just Spain. I can guarantee you for a fact that the wealthy and the rich in many countries were paying for the vax certs in big money cash so they didn't have to take it. Now, a part of me says I don't blame them. If that was a way out of it, I don't blame them. The ones I have a problem with are the ones who did that and were then pontificating to the rest of us. Of course, the Spanish CEO of the pharmaceutical company, he should be taken and shot for that one. But the rest of them, I don't honestly blame them. I don't honestly blame them. But because anyone with half a brain in their head knew that thing was Russian roulette. Now, the reason why this story has to go mega is because we know it's been happening in our countries. Your country, I know for a fact this country has definitely been happening here. And the only way now, even if they found out that the entire Irish government had paid off these certs, they still wouldn't arrest them in this country. The media would be still worshiping them as like gods and hunting people like me down. But it's important that we try to create a momentum where alt media and real independent journalists start investigating similar in your own country. We know this did not. What's happened in Spain is a template for what happened in every other country. Every other country it's happened. You know that, I know that. And these people, again, I've mixed feelings about it, but if I can't go have a meal in a restaurant, or couldn't have go for a meal in a restaurant, or get on a flight because I didn't have a piece of paper, and the fact that there were people out there who had large amounts of money and paid for a fraudulent one, well, it's again, you've been listening to me for years, and what have I always been telling you? It's always been about the class system. Now, I don't come from an old lefty way of saying that. I'm not coming from a left-wing class struggle way of saying it. But this is why, that's why the left changed. It changed from dealing with class struggle and going straight for the woke stuff. It's because they were hiding that the real thing has always been about class. It's always been about the upper classes beating on the rest of us. And this is why so many wealthy people are involved in woke and stuff like that, and in hardcore left-wing groups like the Socialist Workers' Party and People Before Profit. It's always been about money. We've got to create a momentum where they implemented a witch hunt against us, those of us who didn't want to take the experimental treatment. The media ran a witch hunt against us. Now it's time to turn the tables. It's time to start asking for a witch hunt against the ones who possibly paid off and got a fake cert. It's time to start hunting them down. And if the media, of course the media has no self-respect, but we have someone like a piece of shit like Joe, a drunk driving piece of shit like Joe O'Shea, going on Irish TV, a so-called journalist, and saying that basically people like us who don't want to submit to an experimental treatment should have no lives, basically have no lives. Jacinta Ardern said the same. That you get your life back if you get up to date on your foghorn leghorn. I want that same witch hunt now turned around in every country on the wealthy and the rich who possibly did this. Now, I know in a country like Ireland, which is so corrupt, that the government will have set up a special thing where you can't trace whose facts they're not. Not because they're not because they want to come after us so much, but to protect the rich who don't have them. I'm sure there was all nods and winks in Irish government circles and establishment circles saying, "Oh no, I know, doctor, you can just pay this off," and I can bet you bottom dollar that many of the ones pontificating on the media actually paid off for a fake cert. And if you're not angry about this, then there's no hope for you as a human being. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you fall upon. If you are not furious about this and want the same investigation that El Mundo did in Spain done in your country, then you don't deserve anything. You're obviously a moron. You're obviously a pathetic individual. We have to create a state of terror among the establishment, because you know that many of them didn't take it and got paid for the fake certificates instead. You know that. It's as clear as day. The establishment in all Western democracies are the same. They're all corrupt. They're all scumbags, and it's all part of the class system. We have to generate a state of terror of who actually took it and who actually didn't, and who actually paid for the cert. Bring their turkeys back home to them to roost for what they did to us for the last 3.5 years. Sanguine gnosis, 2.5 years.